Well, thank you so much, Karen. I really do appreciate that. Wow, that's a very pleasant surprise to wake up to. Thank you so much. Can um can everybody hear me okay? How's the volume sound? We'll get through the setup preliminaries here. There, sounds great. Thanks, Janet. Thank you, Karen. I appreciate that. And I truly appreciate that donation. Thank you so much. That will really come in handy. And Namaste. Okay. Okay. All right, guys. Guys and gals. We're going to get started here in the live drawing session. Just want to take a couple of minutes, a little bit of a little bit of chat, and then we'll move over to the drawing table. As you see, I've done a split screen for this live session. This is actually the first live session on YouTube where I'm actually going to use this format, and I think this works out really great because that way, if I have to explain something while looking at the drawing or reference photo or whatever, it works out. You can see both. When I go over to the drawing table, of course, the small viewer window will be off because there's nothing scarier than having to look at the back of my balding head while I'm drawing. So anyway, while we're here, if you have any questions, please shoot them now. Of course, I'll try to address them while I'm drawing, but however, once I go to the drawing table, you can see the laptop is sitting there off to the left of the table, and the chat is small, so when I look over, and there's the chat lines are coming up, it's kind of hard for me to see specific things. Of course, wonderfully, like if you'll notice, Karen did a super chat, which I'm so appreciative of, and notice how it came up all bold and orange. Well, it comes up like blue and orange and green and all that. Well, when I see those, of course, I catch those pretty quick to express my appreciation. And also, if there's a question, those, of course, I'm going to pay additional attention to because of the support. So when I'm looking over there, it's kind of hard to see anything. You can see, if you look over there, look at my laptop off on the screen there. See that big old big old orange bar? See, that there was Karen McDowell's super chat. See how it just stands out? So that's what I actually see in the peripheral of my eyes while I'm drawing. So just to give you guys a heads up, I don't always catch every question that comes up because they're all blended in regular text. So just wanted to make that mention. Today, yeah, laughing out loud. Today, we're going to be actually starting, or I'm actually starting, to do my drawing and shading. I've already got the main details that I want down on the grid, on the drawing paper, using the grid method, which was the previous live session was on the grid method, and now we move into the actual drawing itself. So you can see that the sketch underneath the reference photo, and I'll move that in a moment. So anyway, if anyone has any questions, now would be a good time, as I'm staring at this chat window, Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and get started. So I'm going to give 15 seconds here to see if any questions pop up. And then I'm just going to get straight into drawing if nobody has any questions they need addressed right away. Okay. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and all right. So I'm going to switch over now to the drawing table. So let me go ahead and take care of this part here. Okay, I'm at my drawing table. Put on my 4 eyes so I can see. Let's see, we get this all centered in here. Okay. So what I've done, as you can see here, what I've done is I've taken a printout of this line. Here I have a glossy photo. I like to have something without marks on it. And then I did a printout on my inkjet printer and drew a grid. And then in the previous video, live video, I started putting in the main details. Putting in the fur and all that is not going to help, so I'm not even going to bother with that. Now, what I like to do is I like to start with the eye. So I'm going to start with the right eye here, which is left to us, of course. And once I start with this eye, then I will start to work around the eye and the squares and then work my way out this way. Same thing here. I'll do this eye and then I'll finish this and then I'll get this down to here. Then I'll do the nose, work out here, down to the mouth, work out here, work out here. So that's kind of the plan, or it may come like a workout here and then work my way down to the right corner. Kind of like when you are working on your floor and you're washing it, or you're putting down clear coat on your wood flooring and you don't want to get yourself in a corner. You work your way towards the door, and the door is down here on the right bottom because I'm a right-handed artist. So with that, since I'm going to be working on this eye, let me put this in zoom mode and see how that works. So give me 10 seconds to do that. Okay, now hopefully that shows up and get a closer view of the eye there. Now I'm going to need something for my hand to rest on. So what I'll do is I'll just grab a sheet of paper from my printer here and lie that down. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to zero in on the eye. You know, let me try something here. I'm going to see if I can get it to where you can actually see the reference at the same time. Let's just do this here real quick. I need to go, let's see, need to go to downloads, and we're going to bring up the, I'm going to bring up the tiger. All right, let's see. So do here is I'm going to zoom in here, see how I can do this, and that will be okay, I know how I'll do this. All right, so with that there, let's see. Okay, I'm not going to do it that way. That way is not going to work. Let's try it this way. Sorry I'm taking a little time here to do this, but I want to enhance your experience here, make it even better. Let's try opening it up in photos. Here we go. We'll do something like this. And I think we're getting somewhere here. Okay, so I think that should work. How's that? I think that'll work pretty good. Whoops. Of course, I just messed that up pretty quick, didn't I? Okay, I think that should do it for us right there. Okay, I think we got it. Okay. There's got to be easier ways to do that, but I guess that would have to, they'll have to do. All right, so that means I don't have to keep this in the way here. Okay, so what do you guys think? Now that you can see the reference in the bottom right corner, does that come in good from where you're at? Does that look good? Give me some feedback on that. It'd be great. Make sure this chat thing is working because I don't see anything going on. All right. Let's see. Can you guys hear me okay? Yeah. Okay, good. Thanks, Joy. I thought I lost everybody there for a minute. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start with the dark area here, and if you'll notice in the reference that it is very, very dark. So what I'm going to do here is take my softest, let's say charcoal pencil. And I think a good one here would be, I'm going to use this Primo Grande because it's a really organically dark pencil. And I'm going to start with that detail right here.
Now the beauty about this here, for one, is I have grid lines and they're going to get covered up. So I don't have to erase them under the darker areas. Now the thing with live sessions is that I can't do time lapse. So I have to bore you guys with real time drawing here. By the way, if you blow on your drawing like I do, be real careful and make sure that you've kind of dried up your mouth a little bit so you don't spit on it, because that will cause lots of grief and problems. All right. See, it's not very difficult at all. Once you get that initial sketch down, you just keep looking at the reference and put your marks on the paper. I'm really looking forward to seeing how this lion turns out, because I've never drawn one before. And I certainly haven't drawn anything with a lot of fur. So you'll get to watch me as I adapt to a whole different way of doing something here, because I'm used to drawing people. I don't draw animals. So this is going to be kind of a experience here, a new experience here for me. But I have complete confidence that I will do just fine, because the basics are pretty much the same. Once you get the basics down, a lot of the pointers that I have shared in my lessons, they can apply across a whole many different types of drawing. Now normally when you're putting down dark, a lot of times what you can do is you layer up to where you get to the dark. So you'll start with lighter pencils in graphite and work your way up. But I'm working with charcoal for the darkest darks, and I have no need whatsoever to work my way up, because I'm going completely black here for this part of the eye. Of course, you have to be real careful when you're doing when you're playing with charcoal, is that as you're drawing the rest of your drawing or portrait or whatever you want to call it, it's very easy to start smearing. So just keep that in mind. You're going to have to be very ginger about where you lay your fingers, and also when you're putting in graphite around the charcoal, it's very easy to blend the charcoal into your graphite and make a mess. So you're going to have a steady hand. Especially when I draw this tiger's iris. You know what, I noticed something here. You know, these lions, I call them tiger, but you know, lion, tiger. This lion here, being of the feline family, doesn't have that cat-like eyeball. Seems to have kind of a regular eyeball, you know, with a little pupil in the middle. I find that interesting. I never looked into a lion's eyes before, and honestly, I don't really want to get that close to them unless they're very, very, very tame. I have some friends right now that are in South Africa and having a good old time, and they're walking with the lions. Now you notice here that I've left this white area here, and that is because there's a highlight in there, and I want to make it easy for me to pull them out, so I don't want to darken that in. And then there's this one here, so I want to make sure that I leave that highlight in there as well, because I'm going to have to blend down in there, and I would rather not have to work really hard to pull it out of this charcoal. I'm going to charcoal up as much as I can, and then I'm going to leave the rest to be taken care of later with a blender. All right. All right, good deal. Now I'll get my salty blender here. So you can see that it's already got a pretty dark tip there. And I'm going to start to shape this highlight here to match the reference photo a little better. See this one? Gotta darken it down just a little bit, like so. I'll just tap her down with my blender here just to make sure that my accuracy is spot on. And then this one here, there's a little bit right in there. Okay, I'm going to taper that down, just kind of tamp down a little bit because I don't want to take it all out. And I want to match the ref photo as close as I can. My eyesight isn't so great, but okay, and then just slightly bring that down to there, and that looks pretty good for now. I think I've got that very close. So I'm going to move on here. First off, let me just make one little adjustment as my OCD kicks in. And that is just a little bit. I want just a little bit here. Okay, that looks pretty good. All right. Now, I'm going to do the pupil in here, and let's see, not going to use that one. What I noticed, the pupil, the tone of the pupil, if you look in the reference photo there in the bottom right hand corner, or I could also show you right here, if you look carefully, and see, this is where you've really got to pay attention to detail. This is pitch black, but look at the pupil. It is not the same pitch black as this. Now, what a lot of beginning artists will do is make the mistake, oh, pitch black pupil, pitch black this, and they'll make it all the same. Don't do that. Look at your reference, and I can tell that it is not the same tone. It is actually lighter than this. I make a comparison, and my judgment call says I need to draw a dark pupil, but not as dark as this. So it's actually going to be lighter. So to do that, what I'm going to start with here is the extra hard charcoal pencil, and see if I can get the right tone with that, and then I'll move up if I have to. But let me just try with these extra hard. This HB pencil, it's an HB charcoal pencil, looks a lot like a regular HB, I think, when you put it down on paper. just without the glare. Okay, that might be on the light side. I think it is. So I'm going to step it up. And I'm going to go to the next step up, which is the hard charcoal. So I'm just using a standard hard charcoal. Now this pupil is pretty small. And it would be nice to have a point, but it's hard to get a point on these charcoal pencils without snapping it. So what you can do, if it's really needed, is you can take one of these sandpaper boards and just grind it down, but don't do it over your drawing, of course. So I'm just going to do it off the screen here for a second. See if I can get me a finer point here. You can see I'm just scraping like this. Just to see if I can give me a nice little point, because I need to really get the detail of that pupil in there. Okay, there we go. There's a nice sharp point on my charcoal pencil. So now I'm going to get in here to this pupil here. I can't use my brush. My brush will pick up this charcoal and it will smear it. So I'm just blowing it off, but I have to pucker up really good here to make sure that I don't spray any moisture as I'm doing it. All right, so let me just see if I can get that in there. Okay, it's kind of going in a little on the dark side, so I'm going to have to pick some of it out with my eraser, but the tone is lighter than here, which was important. So what I'll do now is take my blending tool, and when you blend, you're going to take some of the charcoal out anyway. So let me just blend that, which will lighten it up a little. But I don't want to lighten it too much, because when I draw everything around it, it's going to lighten it up just because of what I add around it. So that's an important note. So sometimes it looks too dark, but then when you put something around it, it lightens up, because right now it's only against this semi-white paper here, this cotton water paper. And you end up having to come back and do it all over again. But here I'm going to now just take a little bit out, because I want the details to be correct, and put a little point on the eraser here. This is a kneaded eraser, and it looks like the very top of the pupil is a little lighter. I'm going to see if I can get that. I may or may not. If not, I'll use my little tape trick or something. And, you know, some might say, well, you know, aren't you getting a little extreme, Rix? Like, who's going to really pay attention to the little tiny variance of tone inside of a pupil, for Pete's sake? Well, okay, it may seem a little extreme, but I think that getting the details right makes a big difference as to how your drawing comes out overall. And besides, if you skimp on one thing, you're going to skimp on other things too, and that's just going to definitely show up. All right, now I got to find what I did with my hard. Here we go. Because now I have a right up here in the very top is a shaky hand here. At the very top is a dark area, so I want to get that in there. There we go. Get that in there. All right. And I think that's looking pretty good so far. So I'm going to leave it there for now, and now start working on the rest of this eyeball here. By the way, I need a little sharper edge here, even though it's going to go into fur in a second. And yes, I'm using the hard over what was soft. It won't matter. The hard allows you to get the sharp lines in. So, and I hate to waste a good point. All right. Okay, boy. Now the next thing, if you take a look at the eyeball itself, you're going to notice that it is a nice mid-tone overall. Yes, you have highlighted areas and you have a few darker than mid-tone, but overall you have this kind of medium grayish look here. And so that's what I'm going to add as the base tone, and then I can put the details in and pull some of it out. And the only way I'm going to be able to do that is if I apply it lightly, which is how I apply everything. But I want to emphasize that it's very important to apply lightly. Now, because I want the eyeball to have this really nice, soft, glassy look to it, so I could make that eyeball pop out with shine and moisture and all that other stuff, that means that I need to fill in the paper fibers in really well. And to do that, the best thing to do is don't start right away into your B pencils. Come in here with, let's say, an H or a 2H pencil, which is a hard pencil. It's the one I have in my hand here. This one just happens to be a Tombow. You know, it's a good pencil, Japanese pencil. But I just use what I have in stock right now. Whoop, excuse me, I gotta shut that phone off. Sorry about that. I usually silence it. Okay, so what I want to do is I'm going to put down this light 2H as my base, because the hard H pencil will fill in the paper fibers really well. Then you kind of lightly blend it in. I have to be careful because I do have the charcoal now, so I have to come in there real carefully and blend that in to give it that nice smooth texture. Then I can come in with a darker graphite pencil and bring that tone out a little bit more to match the tone of that reference. You know, let's see if I'm pointing to it here. Yes, I am. All right, good. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start with that. Get this party going here. So, as usual, I hold the pencil in the back for those who are not familiar with my drawing method. And I do these very small ovals. Just going around making little ovals and overlapping because it gives me full control. And you see, I'm not in a hurry. It's not like I have a subway or a train to catch. So, you know, you put some music on. If I wasn't doing this live session, I'd have music going and I'd be relaxed. Maybe have a nice cup of coffee next to me here, or nice sparkling mineral water, and just chill. There, you know, I see, and I did this too in the beginning, is I see a lot of people, like, they're in such a hurry to finish their drawing. I've gotten to a point now where I take weeks. You've seen how long I took to do the little boy lost drawing. If you dropped in each week, you notice that for the most part, I only was drawing on those live sessions. There was maybe once that I can think of that during the week I went in and it was drawing that I was not on a live session. But for the most part, it was 2 hours a week, 1.5, 2 hours a week was all I was doing for, what was it, like, I don't know, 6 weeks? I can't recall, 6, 7 weeks. So I was in no hurry. The rest of the week I was busy doing other things, reviewing products, creating other kind of videos, or, you know, just trying to make a living. And so there was no rush. And so I never got bored of drawing Little Boy Lost or, you know, DiCaprio or whatever, which in the beginning I got bored really quick drawing after, you know, putting in 10 hours, 15 hours on a drawing. I never wanted to see that face again. I mean, I was just like, oh man, I got to get this done. I'm so tired. I'm ready to go draw something else. But now I've kind of come into a place to where, you know what, just come in and chill and just draw, relax. Don't look like it's, you know, don't act like it's a race, you know, like you've got to get it done during a certain period of time. And you know what? It will show up in your work. I find that the best work that I've done have all been the ones where I've just taken my time. And especially if your subject has hair. Oh boy, rushing with the hair, not a good idea. Okay, now I've just laid down a 2H and you can see that it's kind of textural. The paper texture shows up within there. So now of course I have to get into the blending. And I'm going to find me a blender here which is going to allow me to soften that down, but I want to make sure that I don't have anything on here that's going to... I could sharpen this and get it to where there's nothing on here, but this is light enough. This is not going to bother anything. I'm just making sure that I don't put any marks in there that I don't want. So I'll just get that out of there like so. Okay. And with a point and a nice little paper blender, I'll be able to get close to the charcoal without smudging it into my eyeball, which is what I want to avoid. And I'm going to give this guy, or maybe it's a lady, I think it's a lady. I'm going to give this lady here a nice glassy iris. A nice, maybe I'll call her Iris. I don't know. Make sure I don't get any of that charcoal on there. Just go off paper and clean it off. And I'll have to get my eraser in there, of course, and lighten up. See, I'm getting some of the bleed in here. Now, some might think, well, why didn't you just do this part first? That's not a bad idea. Maybe it was a mistake for me to go charcoal first, but if I can handle it, I'll be just fine. And again, I'm drawing my very first lion. So whatever I learn from this, I will then be able to teach at some other time to future students and viewers and subscribers. Okay, so I'm just getting it all nice and smooth. See how those little pattern marks are going away and it's just kind of blending in. You get it all nice, one solid. Don't press. Whatever you do, don't press. And by the way, you can use these tortellins, whatever they pronounce them. To me, it just sounds like an Italian dish with Alfredo sauce. But tortillons or something like that, I don't know. But they're very hard, these tips. And you got to be careful because they'll press down on the paper fibers and you don't want that. So these paper blenders I find are better, except if you need really sharp details, those tortellinis, whatever, are really good for that. So everything has its place. See, I picked up a little bit. Now, interesting, if you look at the reference photo, some of these little black marks that I got going on here, I can easily take that up with my kneaded eraser, which I will with some of it. But some of them are actually going to work really well with the little details inside the eye here. Because if you look at the reference, it has these little dark things. So sometimes you have these nice, pleasant mistakes, which turn out to be not mistakes at all. You know, you can say, yeah, I did that on purpose. You likey? All right. So I'm just going to blend out away from his eyelid, I guess that black area is her eyelid. Sorry, Lady Tiger. And you'll be able to see too as I put in this 2H base here, just to fill up these paper fibers, because I really want a glassy look. I really want, and the only way you're going to get that is with a smooth base. I made the mistake of jumping straight to soft pencils and you get more of a grainy look. So you'll notice that the tone difference between this 2H And the charcoal that I use for the very black area of the lid, eyelid, is much more contrasty than the reference photo, which tells me instantly that my tone needs to be darker than a 2H, which I knew that and I mentioned that up front, but I need to start layering with a 2H first, and then I will move to a higher grade here. I just need something to fill up the paper fibers here with a base. Look at how nice that's coming out there. Yeah, and you can use it if you're a chicken. Chicken Janet. All right. I just turned my head for a second and I saw chicken. You little chicken. All right. There we go. Look at that. Smooth. That is smooth. Now I can get a lot smoother than that without the paper blender. For example, I can come in with a Q-tip, but the reason why I didn't want to go Q-tip is because it's like hitting it with a blunt instrument. It's got this fat tip here, and if you get too close to that charcoal, you're gonna get it in there. So the paper blender did a great job. I'll just go clean it up a little bit here, try to avoid the charcoal as much as possible. But the paper blender did the job. And as far as getting a little charcoal in there, remember I said as long as you put that in there lightly, you can easily pick it up. Look at that. Look at this, like it was never there. See? Just like master of the universe. There we go. Get it all up there. Even what I was going to leave as my good mistake. That's a little bit right there. Now, you probably can't see it in the camera because these are very small, minor details, you know. But there you go. Okay, now, next thing I need to do is I need to go in with a darker tone. I just did a 2H, so I have a base. Now, I can go to the next grade, which is an HB, for example. Or it's an H, actually, but I don't use an H pencil. I go from 2H to HB. So I have a HB, or I can just go straight to a B. Either one would be fine because I already have my base in here. But I'm going to go ahead and layer it up with this HB and make sure that I don't overshoot the tone. So let's get in here with this. Same thing, hold it in the back. And do the little oval thing so you give a nice, even layer. Tortillion. What, you didn't like tortellini? I mean, it's lunchtime for me here. Tortellini sounds kind of good. Yeah. All right, tortillion. Thanks for that. Tortillion. For me to ever learn English. You would think English was my first language. All right. Look at that. Oh, I'm very pleased with how that's coming in there. Look at that, just going in really nice and getting me the tone that I really, really want. I haven't put the details in yet. I haven't pulled the highlights out yet. I just getting this in here like as the base. Because it's all about the base. All about the base. All right. Okay, great. Now, I feel that at this point I don't want to go any darker than an HB. So I'm going to take my blender now. Okay, and I'm going to blend it in nice and gently. Make sure I got the right tip. There we go. And just blend that in nice and gently. Give it that nice, smooth baby bottom texture there, or lack of texture, I should say. Picked up a little bit of that charcoal there, which was a no-no. And I'm just dabbing. There's really no erasing here. It's just dab, dab, dab. It's right on the surface, and it should just come right off like that. Okay. And then get back to work. Break time is over. Okay, so we get that in there. Gotta be real careful here on the edge. We get this nice and smooth. I want this whole eyeball to be smooth. Very smooth. Don't press it down. It needs to lay on top so you can pull out your highlights and your light tones. You just glide it on very gently. You know, some people try to get darker by pressing, and that is just the biggest mistake. Okay, I think I got that in there pretty good. Let me take my Q-tip here just to get the bigger areas, not to get too close to that charcoal. A little bit right there I need to get off. Okay. Just the obvious areas here. Get that all nice and smooth out. All right. Okay. Now, I want to go ahead and get started here. See, as soon as I put that in there, I can see that my pupil now is not dark enough in relation to the iris, but I'm not done with the iris yet. So now I've got to get in here and get some details. See what I can do here with my kneaded eraser here. The tip gets dirty really quick. Excuse me. Got something in my throat now. So sorry, I don't mean to cough in the microphone. So, kind of comes up like this. I gotta make sure I get that ragged edge in there when I'm all said and done. Whoops, hit the camera with my head, sorry. Okay, this has kind of a feather, like these little feather lines, fingers. See if I get that in there. And over here, around the circle, there's a circle there. And it looks like a sunburst, you know, kind of has a sunburst look to it. Now I was wondering how much trouble I was going to have with this paper, not being a bright white paper. And if I don't get the white that I need, I'm going to use a white pen because I really want my eyeball here to pop. But I'm not going to embellish this in any way. I'm going to stay true to the actual reference. Now I could see that I've made a mistake here already. And a close inspection, I need to move that dark spot over. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just make it all white here and then redraw that dark spot. Don't drop your eraser. That never helps. All right. Okay, I'm going to grab my Tombow Mono here for a moment and see what kind of control I can get with that. So here it is. Okay, let's see if I can get more of the highlight here. As long as the point is sharp. Yeah, I think it's working okay. I would like a brighter highlight. This paper is not going to give that to me, and I'm going to have to use a white pen, I can tell, to really get that pop that I want. I want this tiger roaring. The lion, it's not a tiger, it's a lion. All right, lion. I've been lying calling it a tiger. It's a lion. Okay, and then there's a darker tone up here and a darker tone down here, and there's a little lighter here. So I'm not ready to put that in. Let's see. I just would love to get this a little brighter here. Really set the mood better. Okay. That looks good there. Now I'm going to have to go in with my HB again. Or 2B probably. Let me see. Let me try 2B first before I get crazy with the HB. But it's right here is the mark that I need to put back in. Just a little bit of brown shading or gray shading. There you go. Okay, and I'm going to take my blender and put that in there. Yeah, I need brighter highlights. I can tell already I need brighter highlights. This is not going to be as white as I like it because it's whiter here. And I think I'll hold off on that until the end and just concentrate on all this. So I need to go a little darker around the eye here. So now I'm going to put my next layer And I think what I'm going to do here, because I don't think graphite's going to give me what I want, is I'm going to use this extra hard charcoal here and see if I can get that dark starburst going here with it. Without going too dark. I may need a better point. I think I need a better point. So again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this, and I'm going to give myself a nice point on this. Because the pencil sharpener may break it off, and I don't want to do that. It only takes, 30 seconds to give your pencil a nice point using sandpaper. See, that's very pointy there. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start putting in some details here in the eye. I'm going to be focusing a lot on this eye before I go anywhere else on this drawing. I want to see if it comes in too dark, then I'm going to have to come in with something different. But so far it's looking pretty good, because I'm going to lighten it up a little bit with my blender. See the 6B end of it's right there. Picking up some of that charcoal. I don't want to do that. Okay, it looks like I'm going to have to lighten that up a little bit. So I'll wait until I'm done, and then I'll go in there and lighten that area if necessary. Down here. I'm putting in the very small dark details I see in this eye here. No hurry. Could eat that chicken tortilla later. For right now, I'm just going to focus on this. You draw, you erase, you draw, you erase. That's all part of the, it's all part of how that works. And I'll have my first lion. Ian, no, I have a white gel pen that works great. I do have what you're talking about, which is like, well, that's not it. That's my frisket, but it's a little white bottle of that paint stuff, and I don't like to use it with a brush and all that. I like the pen. I'll show the pen here in a second. Okay. Right here, this is the jelly roll. Okay, the jelly roll. And I like using this. And this does a great job laying down some of that white paint. So, anyway, go out and grab yourself a jelly roll and a cup of coffee. Okay, still using my extra hard here for details. I'm going to start getting this dark area right here in. Comes out to about right there. Comes out here like so. Comes in like that. Then it comes more to a point about right there. So, okay. Get that in there. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to get, I don't think I'm going to get it as white as I'd like without using the jelly roll. I will try the battery operated eraser, but I doubt if that's going to do anything. Okay. Where is my blender? There it is. Okay. Okay, so I need to diffuse those harsh lines. Okay, this needs to come out a little bit more here. Yep. Let me take care of something here real quick. It'll start bothering me if I don't do this. Let's see here. This is my grande. All right, and this here is actually dark, whiter. All right, let me try that. See what happened to my new one. I have a new electric razor here. What did I say? Razor? Eraser. Electric eraser. And I seem to have misplaced it somewhere. Not sure where I put it, so I'm going to have to use this old-fashioned one until I can find out what I did with it. Just out of care, I'm just curious here, but I believe I'm going to go gel pen. So let me just grind this puppy down. Anybody need a drummer for their rock group? All right, that's enough of that mess. Let's see, I'm just gonna pick an area here. Let's see, right here. Well, that's not bad. Huh. Yeah. By George, I think we got it. these little ridges I want to get in there. There we go. Ha ha ha, yeah. Alright, I'm giddy. So even with this paper, it looks like I'm going to achieve what I want. That's nice. Alright. Yeah. I'll have to thin those lines out a little bit, but... Oh, look at that. Alright, well, looks like I'll be able to do it with this. I might be able to just... I might still use the pin anyway, but I'll reserve judgment on that until later. Alright. Going with my 2H now, and I need to soften some of these lines up that I just made. Eraser lines. I'm not pressing down. It's very, very light on the tip. I'm just trying to get shaping here, shape it where I want it. I'll probably have to keep redoing it over and over until I get exactly what I see in that reference. But I like the fact that it's coming out better. Is this pre-recorded? No, Flame Z, it's live. You are live right now. Everybody is watching you. I don't think I've ever had anyone ask if it was pre-recorded before, but that's pretty cool. All right. No, every weekend, make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification, and you will be given advance notice. I like to connect with you guys every week, best I can. See, get some little starburst in here. See. Oh, this is fun. This is so much fun, guys. It really is a lot of fun. Now, there is a kind of an element of, I mean, most of you don't have to draw with a bunch of people watching over your shoulders, you know. That adds an element of pressure of some sort. I mean, I'm used to it now, but still, I can get away with a lot more mistakes without having to explain why I did something. And I'm going to go like that. See, I see this nice little lighter tone here, which I want to get that in there. And this eye, as I continue to add graphite, take it away, add graphite, take it away, it is going to start developing over time. If you watch that series of drawing The Little Boy Lost, and you saw how I was drawing his eyes in the beginning, and then you started to see it take shape like in a week, that's going to be the same thing with these eyes. It doesn't amount to much right now. I'm not there yet. I'm not satisfied yet, but I will get there. And you guys can come along for the ride, of course. Now this has to come out like so, like here, and then it comes out right there. There's where it is. That's what was bugging me, because I was looking at the distance. I'm like, wait a minute. why is this not exactly what I see over here? And if something's not exact, you know, I mean, I'm not perfect, of course, duh. But if I don't see, if I don't see things by going back and forth, and I go, what is it? Something is not right. Something is bugging me. What is it? Well, I'm just gonna keep at it until I get it, because as I walk through my house and I look at the stuff on the wall, if I look at it and it reminds me that I didn't fix something, and that's happened in the past, that picture's coming down and it's getting buried somewhere, and I don't want to do that. So look at this. This is coming out pretty good. Still got a ways to go, but it's coming out pretty good. Find my missing 2H pencil here. Okay, so this is bigger. Let's get that in here. And you know, I'm sure watching an eye take 2 hours to draw, and it'll probably take even longer for one eye. Maybe that's a little boring. I get it, but this is live, and I don't have a choice. I can't rush it. So I want to make sure I get everything right. Okay, I'm using a Q-tip because I can lighten with a Q-tip. So it's a good lightening tool, as well as being a blender. I want to make sure that I knock some of this down. If it's a little bit too much. Okay, and I just made a mistake there, so I'm going to clean that up. Well, hey, Flames, really appreciate that. Yeah, that was a milestone, hitting 5,000 subs. Heck, it was a milestone hitting 10,000 subs. And now we're past 20. It's nice to see that it's growing. I'm not going to meet my goal this year, though. I was aiming for 45,000 subs, and I guess I got a little ambitious because it doesn't look like I'm going to hit that. I'll probably hit 23,000 subs, 24 by the end of the year at the current pace. It's about 1,000 subs, new subs a month now. I mean, it's going to take years to get enough support where this channel would be sustainable. Okay. And let me just study this a little second here and see what I have. Okay. 2H pencil. Okay, something is bothering me here, and I'm... Yep. So which side is that? Which side is that? Is it this side? Ah, okay, that's got to be rounded. That's got to be rounded. Rounded. Oops. There we go. Rounded, rounded. Okay. All right, and then we go in here. Okay, I'm going to take that off here. This side there. Need to bring the pupil out here. Okay. And let's see, get a little bit off of there. Okay, this looks okay here. Use this hard charcoal pencil, by the way. When you use soft charcoal, you can't get the edges sharp. Use a harder charcoal pencil, because that will help you to sharpen your edges. When you really want sharp edges, you just go over it like that. See how it's causing this sharp edge? It's perfect. Okay, so I'm getting that in there because that needs to be a sharp edge for this eyeball. This is bugging me. Something like bugging me. Now I know what it is. All right. Well, let me just kind of... Yeah, Rob. Yeah, it is kind of semi-parabolic as far as the more subs you have, it seems the more you attract later on down. And I have noticed that because I wasn't doing 1,000 subs a month last year. So it has picked up. And also, YouTube seems to give preferential treatment to channels that have a certain amount of subs. And they wouldn't even pay attention to me until I got 10,000 subs. And I have another channel, which is a business channel. It'd bore you guys to death. But that one only has like 500 subs. And it's been out there for 4, 5, 6 years. And YouTube recently changed things to where you now have to have at least 1,000 subs before they'll even monetize. So they shut that down, and it was monetizing for 2-3 years, and now it doesn't monetize at all. So they keep changing the rules and everything, which I find to be irritating. Okay. Get that in there. I'm using the extra hard again because it allows me to get these really nice sharp edges in here. And I'm going to use it to feather out this... Oh, you can't see what I'm pointing at. Feather out this black area in the white fur later on when I get into the white fur area. But I want to just get this part done here. See right here, for example, using a hard charcoal, I'm going to be able to feather that out like that. See, and I can get really detailed with this, which is awesome. And I'm going to be doing that. I'm just going to be getting really detailish here with this. So the extra hard is really great for coming out of your dark charcoal, soft charcoal zone and giving it more the feathered detail look. See, I'm already starting to do that, and I don't want to do it now. I don't know if you can see that, but that looks cool. I mean, that is... I can see this fur thing is going to be really fun to do here pretty soon. But yeah, I come out here and I'll just feather that. See how I'm feathering out that dark charcoal area there? Just using this extra hard pencil here. This whole area here is really dark. And I'll probably have to go with a hard or a medium on this one here. See what I can do. Yeah, I'm not going to do it with this. This not the pencil for that. Okay, make sure I got this. I got a line up here. I want to get that in there. I have a line right here. Get that in there. Oh, this is just so much fun. I just love this. Okay, that's all right. Oh, wait a minute. Here. Let's see. Get here. Got. Still using the extra hard, but I want to get these flares out here just to get this started and give me some ideas as to how I'm going to do fur, since this is a new venture in fur land for me. See, half the fun is experimenting. finding out what your tools can do. Okay, I'm going to need a better charcoal pencil than this. I'm going to use this for the feathering details, the fine feathering details. That comes out to like that. So this goes out like that. Oh, this is going to be great. This is going to be great. I have 2 commission jobs that are on hold until I finish this. And those are pain jobs. And this one is not. This is for me and you guys. Because I wanted to do something different. Yep, I'm not going to do any more with that pencil there because that's going to require that I press too hard in the paper, and I don't want to do that. Did you not really get into the hybrid pencils? I don't understand your question, Ian. Did you not really get into the hybrid pencils? Not in this drawing, I haven't. Just charcoal and graphite. All right, let's see. Now, right here, you can see there's this white highlight area right there. I need to get that in, so I'm going to do that right now. And for that, let's try something here. One of my other little methods to see if it works. It probably or maybe won't, but let me go get... let me go find me my... where is that stuff out here? I got a sheet of Frisket somewhere. You know, I should take time to find out where all my stuff is. My office is all messed up. I've been printing some cool t-shirts recently. Goofing off with that. All right. Hi, Kathleen. I'm glad you made it too. Oh, yeah, Ian. Yeah, because the charcoal is darker than a hybrid. And I find it interesting that you refer to it as a hybrid, since that was kind of, I made that up. But awesome. Hope it catches, because it makes it a whole lot easier to talk about. All right. Now I have some Frisket somewhere, and I don't know what I did with it, and I am bummed. So that means I'm going to have to use tape, which is too sticky. But I don't want to have everybody wait while I go tear up my studio here. So I'm just going to use this piece of tape, but I'm going to put it on my pants here, my shorts, just to kind of take some of the stickiness off. There we go. Now we got a little lint in there. And with this, I'm going to try to not pick up all my charcoal that I laid down, but I want to see if I can get in there and see, I picked up some of that charcoal and it didn't show, so I've got a good thick layer of charcoal here. Okay, it's starting to come out. Start to see it. Change the positioning of my tape. I kind of bend it up like this, you know, curl it up so I don't lay it down on everything. All right, it's starting to come out. Look at that. See? Rock and roll. You gotta love it. If Rix can do it, you can do it. There we go. Okay, and then I'm going to thin it out here with my hard charcoal pencil in a second. I'm just going to get enough of this out so I have more to play with. All right. Check that out. Pretty awesome, huh? I'm going to take a little bit off of this one here too, just on the edge here. Yep. All right. Well, that looks good. I don't have anything else to do there. So now I'll take my hard charcoal, extra hard charcoal pencil, and I'm going to thin that line out because it's on a little bit on the thick side. So looking at my reference, make sure that I don't cover it up too much. Okay, I think that's thin enough there. And then I'm going to take my blender that has the charcoal on it, and I'm just going to tamper that down right there because it's a little bit darker than the other end of that. And okay, I'm going to leave that alone. That looks pretty good for right now. Looks good. And this. Okay. All right. Well, it's getting there. It's getting there. Now I notice that the white is not as bright as I would like. I mean, it's brighter than it was, but make minor adjustments here with a sharp edge. Here. There's good. Here's good. It's good, 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 good. I'm going to have to play with this a little bit more here later. I'm not going to mess with it too much. Then that line out there, I'll probably use a 2H to do this. I don't want to mess around with this part too much. Okay, looks good, looks good. Love that highlight there. That worked out perfect. Yep. I'm going to worry about this feathering here a little later too as I draw in the rest of this eye here. That looks good. That looks good. I'm going to fill that in later. Okay. Feather that out a little bit more. Then that needs to come out like that. All right. That's there. That's there. That's there. That's there. That's there. Okay. I think that's going to do it for now. Yes, siree. Yes, siree. Yes, siree. So looks good there. I need more detail in here. Then I need to lighten up around the detail. So get that in there in a second. Right there, little bit of detail there. We already have that there. A little detail here. Detail here. Another one here. Another one here. There's a black spike right there with a little bit of mountain cap right there and a little bit of mountain cap right there. Oh, that'll bring that white out even better. Yeah. Okay, that rounded is a little too much. Then you got this hint of darker tone around the white, so that will bring out the white more too. So let me get that in there. See, this part right here is a little bit darker. Let me get that in there. Sorry for mumbling, but that's I'm thinking, and really want to get this right. Otherwise, it's going to bug me forever, and I don't have forever. Forever would be nice. Okay. Okay, this part right here. Okay, that's got to come up. That's got to come up like this. See, and it's got to come down here. And okay, so that goes like that. You see how the details are starting to develop? All right, now you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take out that gel pen and see if I can brighten up this day here just a little bit with this white gel pen. See what we get. Okay, so it's actually going to be brighter than the original. I got to be careful here. I'm going to have to subdue it if it gets too bright. Well, this part here needs to be brighter. Woohoo! This is so much fun, people. This is so much fun. Yep. Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to be careful not to get carried away here. But I'm just expressing myself here. Yes. I love getting details in and watching it all just come out alive. I'm going to just stop right there before I get too crazy. All right, so that's it for right now. I'll probably pay a little more attention to it later as I continue out, but for right now, take a look at that eye and then compare it to the reference down there. Okay, now guys, from your perspective, because I can't really, I can't see what you're seeing exactly. So tell me, how does it look to you? Does it look like I'm on the right track here? And there is a little bit of a camera distortion, though. I have to warn you, this paper is not flat to this camera. So the eye may appear a little bit, what they call it, distended. You know, it's just going to kind of be slightly off. But just see how the whole tone thing. What would you do if it gets too bright with the white gel? Oh, I would just simply temper it down with some graphite or charcoal. I can do it with, you know, like a Q-tip and have just a little bit and just tapper it down, and you'll be able to subdue it. But I'm going to leave it the way it is for right now because I like it. Yeah, Rob, I'm actually thinking that the highlight is brighter than the reference photo. From what I can see here in person, the reference photo, the highlight is actually a gray and my highlight is a white. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to end up having to take that down a little bit before I'm done. Do notice I have a little bit of something here that I want to get rid of. This right here. There we go. All right. All right. Okay, I'm going to switch over now to the other camera here. All right, let's see. Oh, there I am. Okay. So guys, let's see. Yeah, well, the digital reference, yeah, may appear a little brighter. I have it blown up here in front of me, and it is still kind of a grayish look. But yeah, I'm going to have to go with the reference photo. The nice thing though is I could blow this up and look at these details in this eye, and I'm probably just going to probably blow this eye up and then bring it over to my drawing desk there, just so I can get those really, really minute details. I really want these eyes to look perfect, because the fur, you can get away with a lot with the fur, but these eyes are what's going to draw people in. Just like that little boy Lost drawing I did. Everybody comes in and they zero in on his big old eyes, you know. And so I got to make sure that I can duplicate these eyes, because that's the focal point, and then the rest of it we'll figure out as we go along, as far as the fur and stuff. I think a lot of pulling out of highlights and stuff for that. Thanks, Marty. I appreciate that. Okay, let's see. All right, guys. So I got a few minutes here. If there's something you want to talk about, I can talk about anything. It doesn't necessarily have to be this drawing. I'm going to take this reference down here out of my way and move this over here so I can stare straight ahead. There we go. Yeah, I'm really pleased with that eye so far. Of course, I'm going to do the rest of it off camera, because I'm going to take a long time to do it. I'm going to blow up that eye and print it out. My printer is on the Blitz, on the Fritz, and I'm waiting for a print head to come in. Then I'm going to replace the print head on that printer. Great printer, but the magenta's not working. So once that gets done, I'm going to blow this eye up so I can see every crazy little detail. And I'm just going to go in there, and I'm just going to go ADD on that whole thing. And when you come back to next week's live session, I will not be playing with that eyeball. I promise. We're going to start drawing the fur around the eyeball, most likely. I may get started during the week, because I do need to get this done so I can get on my commission jobs, because I got them on hold. I told them it's going to be a few weeks. I don't want to hold them up too long. Thanks, Kathleen. I appreciate that.
Wildlife art. Well, this is right in your area then, I would imagine. Lions, right? Let's see, the iris may be a bit bigger and the top of the iris has a lighter dark gray patch at the top right. That might be. Again, just a heads up, if you'll notice that the drawing is at an angle. It's not perpendicular to the camera. So there's going to be distortion because you gotta have the camera go straight on it to do a one-to-one comparison. When the paper is on an easel and it's on an angle like this and the camera comes down like this, it's skewed. Everything is skewed. So keep that in mind. Well, I appreciate that, Kathleen. Thank you. Gray patch at the top right. Gray patch at the top right. Well, I'll find out during the week when I blow up the eye. I'll have these details down really, really good. They will be really, really good. Okay. Okay, anybody else? Time to jump on in. Join the party here. We're coming up to 1 hour and 45 minutes of length on this video. So if there are any other comments, questions, and again, I wanna thank Karen McDowell for her donation right at the very beginning. That was very generous. Thank you so much. Those really mean a lot to me because I'm trying to get enough to get some of this equipment updated and stuff. So I appreciate that. I just want to say that again. That was pretty awesome. Okay, well, I guess that's it. I guess now it's time for me to go get some chicken tortellini. Well, how was that said? I forgot how it was said. Rob, is charcoal better than using a black colored pencil or just different? I think it's better. I have black colored pencil. It's called the Cold Erase, C-O-L-E-R-A-S-E, Cold Erase. I don't like black colored pencils after having experimented with that in comparison to charcoal. For photorealism, if you're going for photorealism or even hyperrealism, you're not going to want to use black colored pencil. You're going to want to go with charcoal and graphite. And I know that's my opinion, but I feel very strongly about that. The black colored pencil is just not. Matter of fact, I have a video on that. You can check it out. I have several videos on the subject of black pencils or dark pencils, so you should check that out. Well, you're welcome, Rob. You're welcome. Anybody else? I guess after you've been watching this channel for a while, you pretty much get all your questions answered. You don't have any more. Okay, Ian. Ian's okay. Okay, well, Heinz Paul. Thank you very much for this. The stuff you did with the sticky tape was interesting. Going to try it out. Yeah, you know what? Use low tack frisket rather than tape. If you can get it, I mean, you should be able to get it. Just get it online. I have to locate mine. I don't know what I did with it. I have a whole package of it somewhere. But my office studio here is piling up like crazy. I have tons of products that I have to do reviews on, and so now I ran out of space on where to put all of it. I've been giving stuff away to kids in the area here and who are interested in art, because I just don't know what to do with most of this stuff. And the low-tack frisket is buried somewhere around here, and I really need to find it because it's a really cool technique. I like to use it for white lines, you know, like, and I'm going to need it for the whiskers. As you can see on the reference photo that's showing on the screen here, there's a white whiskers I'm going to be using the tape method to get those white whiskers out. So low tack frisket first, and if you can't get it or you don't have it or you don't want it, then use Scotch tape. Just kind of take some of the stickiness off of it by putting it on your t-shirt or something and peeling it off a couple of times. I have to do that with my silhouette mats as well. You know, you get these mats for the vinyl cutter. I have a Silhouette Cameo 3 because I like to cut vinyl and make my t-shirts and stuff. And it is so sticky that the paper sometimes tears on it, so I have to put it on my clothing and rip it off, put it on my clothing and rip it off, just to get the stickiness done. And then I eventually, over time, I ruin these, so I have to buy another one. This one just came in, so anyway. So yeah, the tape thing, I think you'll find that a really good. Oh, and by the way, Heinz, there's a video. I've done a video, two videos at least that I know of, where I demonstrate this technique. So go look for the one where it talks about drawing white beards or white whiskers or whatever, white hair. Find my video on that and you'll see how I use that. Okay, so Ian says, would a white chalk pencil have worked on the highlights? No. No. I would not. I mean, it from a distance, you probably won't notice it, but you know what I use that white chalk pencil for? Is drawing highlights on your drawings when I print them out and do critiques, because I can't erase, and if I can't erase, then I have to draw on top, and so I'll use the white chalk for that. But I don't use it for that. I wouldn't use it for that. Not if you got a gel. Go get the gel pen. They're inexpensive. Get the jelly roll. Or preferably use bright white paper, drawing paper, which is what I normally use. I don't normally use this. I use the smooth side of Bristol bright white paper, or the white paper. Well, this Arches is not white. It's an off tone of some sort, kind of a cream. So unfortunately, that's kind of affecting the color of the highlight. Kathleen, Wildlife Art. Have you tried using an eraser shield with tape? I learned that trick for colored pencil. Derwent makes a nice eraser shield. Kathleen, I've never heard of an eraser shield. So the answer would be no, I haven't. But now I'm going to have to search and find out what in the world an eraser shield is. Let's see, eraser shield. An eraser shield with tape. See, this is why I like dealing with other people rather than being isolated. Oh, those things. That's what they're called? Eraser shields. No, I never use those. They're rigid. They're rigid. I mean, not a bad idea. As long as you can find the right shape you need. But yeah, I just searched it all over the internet. There's Jerry's Artorama and Blick, and it's only a couple of bucks, $1-2. Erasing, pretty interesting. I'll have to pick up one just so I have it. Oh, I get it. You know what, Kathleen? That's an excellent idea. As a matter of fact, it would seem that with your eraser thingy here, what shield, eraser shield, that you can actually use the tape to block off part of the opening if you don't find the opening to be of the shape you want. So you can kind of get a little creative, I guess, by putting some tape on the bottom side of it so that the eraser won't erase that part too. So that would be an interesting thing. Yes, no. What do you mean, yes, no? Don't say no until you've tried it, because that's probably what I'll end up doing with it. I'll probably put some tape underneath where it's not the sticky part isn't going to touch the paper. It's to block the opening, so I can take the eraser and it won't, because those shapes are not necessarily going to be the shapes I want. So anyway, no, I'm stubborn. I'm going to put the tape on the bottom. If I put it on the top, I'm going to end up erasing the tape off. Hey, but you know what? That's pretty cool. I'm gonna order me one of those things, and then I'm gonna experiment with it, and then I'm gonna get really darn good at it, and then I'm gonna make a video on it. Not for erasing. Oh my goodness! What do you mean not for erasing? I thought we just discussed this. It's an eraser shield, or am I just not keeping up with the context of this conversation? Battery show with the battery eraser for the colored pencils. Oh, hey, talking about colored pencils, Kathleen. I just got a new set of Artesia 72 Expert color pencils here that I will be doing a review of pretty soon. I'm going to draw something with it, although I'm not a colored pencil guy. I've been looking forward to doing another colored penciled one because I want to expand my horizons. So anyway, yeah, that's going to be coming out. I'll be playing with it a little bit. To make sure that I know what I'm talking about when it comes to those colored pencils. Hopefully it comes with a blending pencil. Otherwise I want to order one of those separately. I have not opened that package. It's brand new. That's brand new. Okay, let's see how you bend the tape to remove the charcoal. Just so to make sure that that I don't take off more than necessary, because if it just lays down, you'll start taking everything off. Oh yeah, no, I remember when I was doing the highlight around the outside of the eye in the dark area there. That came out really good. I hope that kind of showed up in the video there. Alright, well I guess I'll go get me some, what did we call that again? I forgot. Let's see. Where is that thing? I forgot what it was called. Wow. I gotta go through this whole thing trying to figure out where things were. Oh yeah, the Derwent Onyx review. Yeah, flames. Do not like those pencils at all. Let's see here. Yeah, I find it anyway. I will send you a link to a short video about the eraser show from another artist. Okay, thanks, appreciate it. By the way, I have a drawing group. If you're interested, you should join up on Facebook. And I guess, all right, guys. Yeah, please. Great bunch of artists there, and you know, it's a lot of fun. Okay, well, I appreciate you guys all dropping in and watching me draw the eyeball of a female lion. I think that's what we determined what that is, a female lion. That was calling it a tiger, and somebody corrected me and said that's a lion. I guess you're right, there's no stripes. So thanks to all of you for coming. So much appreciate your support, and I will catch you in the next live stream a week from now. If you are in the Facebook group, of course, you know I do those impromptu critiques, which are live. And so anyway, looks like it's time for me to go shave. So I'm out of here. Take care. See ya. And remember, if Rix can do it, yeah, you know, you can too. Okay, see ya and bye.